Welcome, Internet.
Hello, Internet.
We are back with another episode of ChEffect after taking quite a lengthy break over the last few weeks. But we're excited to bring some more ChEffect development back to all of you hungry viewers. I think that Tim and I were chatting about where we left off before we got on our stream, and I think that we are ready to work on a meal planning screen. And I guess the idea of this meal planning screen would be you have like the recipes that you loaded into the app, and you want to create some sort of like weekly view of the recipes to then be able to load into like a groceries list or something like that, right?
Yeah, so we've already done the UI. We're up to the point where we just need to integrate the data layer. So maybe we'll just share my screen and get into it. So this is what we have. Yeah, it shows like 1 week at a time, and then each day you can add recipes or remove them. And eventually you'll have like a button to add everything to the grocery list for a week.
Are you like the logic's not wired up, right? This is all just mock data that we loaded in here, or do we actually wire up logic to do the adding and subtracting?
It's all placeholder right now.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
So yeah, it's all fact data. Right. So for this, I need to work on the schema. There's one thing I want to do is add a line that separates the header. Move on. Day header is here. I guess if we need to add like okay. Oh, that's better. Okay, so you go to your schema. That's why we got tailwind. Tailwind. We need a table for, I don't know, meal plan.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because the table is going to have to take into account like the day that the recipe is attached, right? So I don't remember. Does LiveStore support relations in the version we're using right now? I don't think it does.
I don't know. But I'm guessing each row of the table would be an assignment between recipe and a day.
Sure, we could do like the loading. We could just have like the recipe ID in the table and then a day. It would just be nice if I'm going to check the docs and see if versions are supported yet.
The table would be, let's call it meal plan for now. Meal plan. Sure, that's fine. ID is fine. We would need. Do I want deleted it? No, I'm still plain. Recipe ID, great. And then we'll need a day, which will be a date time. Maybe we'll just do a string. And the schema can be, hold on, date.
Yeah, I don't see anything about relations and docs.
Okay. So for this, this is a fine model. I'm not sure how you do indexes. Does it matter in SQLite? Sure it does.
I'm sure it does. Let me see if LiveStore supports that.
LiveStore indexes.
Right here in the docs. So.
Index. Nope. Tables. I think that's part of the table definition. So we go to our new table. Indexes. There's any.
Nice. Nice. Is it actually any, or is it just like one of those things that doesn't
name columns? Name.
Nice.
Yeah, so our query will just be selecting stuff from the day. But we kind of want to select a week at a time as well. What's the best way to represent a week? Week sense. I guess the week would also depend on, because we might want to have like configuration to determine what day the week starts on.
Yeah,
so I think the query will just have multiple days in it.
I was going to say, since we have an index on the day, I feel like having just the day is enough.
Yeah.
And we'll just select 7-day increments, I guess.
Yeah. Right. So I've got a table. I guess the next thing we'll need is some events. So like meal, plane, bed. I think I also need to do like a domain model for this. Meal, plane, entry.
Would the meal plan thing not be just like a where it has the 7-day resolves?
So it will be the day and the recipient. Meal planning tree. So this is kind of what we want to deal with in our app buffer. So maybe this is fun. Meal plan remove. And then over here, easy. Queries. So we kind of need state for the current selected week. No, would that just be the start day?
I guess it would be. What's the question here?
The state for the currently selected week.
I guess it would be the start date.
Yeah. I'm just wondering what would happen if you change the setting to say the week starts on Monday. So you're on Monday first.
You're always selecting the date, the current week as the start date of the week. Then the meal plan. Like we're not storing the meal plan. Because I was going to say the meal plan is.
Maybe if we store a Sunday and then calculate from there. Right. Search date. Meal plan state. So here we want select page. Cool. And this can just be, I guess it must be a date. It will default the assumption. I kind of want it to default to now. And maybe if this is optional. Schema optional with old update default to date time. Unsave now.
So is the idea that the meal plan will fast forward if we change a setting to say the week starts on Monday? or like a later day in the week?
Yeah, so always the stored day will always be a Sunday. And then we just fast forward to their preference for the initial start date. Cool. And then we want to go to queries. Mail plan search. Then that'll be mail process. And then maybe if we do on mail plan wait. And is this serving? Yeah. That is all. So okay. And then I guess we need a way to set it. So this will be and then your writable. So here we would get the query. Would type in the take time.
General question about Atom. Atoms that are derived from like an effect. If you want to make them writable, you have to use atom.writable, right?
Well, atom.fn is writable by default.
Yeah, but like let's say you do an atom.make and give it an effect. That's readable only, right?
Yeah, so this one's plain atom is readable only. But this will be a writable.
Yeah, but like if you do like, for example, just do like atom.make and give it like a random effect, like effect.void, that will be readable only, right? That gives you just an atom, right?
So atom.make and then like that will be readable only. But if you just put like a primitive in there, you'll get a writable.
Yeah, okay. I was like, I just wanted to make sure. I've been using Atom for like some other projects just to get familiar with it more.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing some like API or something. Like if I want to write to an Atom that I initially like, I'd have to I'd have to do what you're doing here and like derive a writable by reading the readable only one, right?
So I said it again.
If I want to make if I have an atom that is created by running an effect, like we did before, and then I want to have something writable that I can like read and write to, I'd have to use this pattern here where I have my readable only atom, unless it's like an atom.fn where I can pass in like a function. This would I'd have to use something like this where I use the atom.writable pattern, right?
Yeah, so here we've defined the read side. But you could have two separate atoms, like one for writing, one for reading, but sometimes it's nice to combine them into a single atom. Oh, this is for setting the current week. How do you do that? Tables. Get those state.set.
I think you have to commit this as well.
Yeah. Stored arc. Nice. I guess just to be safe, we could do take time not to start. Okay. So now we have the writable atom that gives us the selected week, and we can set a new week. Maybe let's just try and integrate that first.
Cool.
Up to you. Maybe reuse the space. New and week atom. What am I looking at here?
What the heck is this?
So this is the actual meal plan. Oh yeah. So for each day, assign these recipes. So this will just be root start dot epoch limits. Whatever. Yeah, weekdays. days. So here we're just doing date time dot add to the week start ends. Is today. Sure thing. Handle previously. Set week start. So this will just be date time dot subtract from week start weeks 1.
Does datetime have a format module or something?
It does. It uses the JavaScript internationalization API.
Is that what toLocale date string uses, or is that different? I forget.
Yeah. I don't know what that does. Maybe we can just keep that. We kind of want to stay in UTC. That will be that's one. And this is adding 6 days or what? Yeah, we would go. Week start dot apply. Date time dot add day 6. E. That can just be date time or comments. We're also did. I'm not going to YouTube soon. Okay, I'll split it here. You don't know what copy is. Interesting. We're just missing the title. Where is it? Did I hit it with button? Day names. Oh yeah. So that will be weekday. Next. Refresh. We're getting errors. Insert into event log. Unexpected error. Cannot open database file.
Interesting. Can you open the dev tools? Maybe there's something relevant in there. Don't steal our license key.
I have a thing would only work with me. Not sure. So there's data there. Meal plan state. Maybe it's an issue with it.
Did it work that time?
No. SQLite error.
Unable to
Query.
open. Wait, ID meal plan state value empty.
Where's the value?
You see it there. Wait. In that blob of JSON, if you scroll yourself over a little bit, eventually you'll get to like the tilde meal plan state right there.
Oh, yeah.
And then value is just an empty object,
Yeah,
which I think is part of the option.
Maybe we try. Oh yeah, I guess SQL doesn't support undefined. Oh, it should be just a JSON blob there. But we could try no or no. What is the problem?
What do we have? So the client document.
Mm,
It says cannot create file. It's like the very first error that shows up in the console there. If you go back to the cannot create.
uh, maybe it was an issue after the upgrade. That should be updating the search state table, but it's not. So maybe retry, reset. Reset all done. No events.
Hmm.
Any events? No events. I guess we can try add a recipe.
Classic fried chicken.
A classic. Copy.
How many times do you think GPT-4o has seen fried chicken from us so far?
At least half a dozen. 50. Still seeing errors. Cannot create file. JFN.
Maybe we gotta nuke the deep directory and do the whole. Because this doesn't look like it's working.
Nuke what, sorry?
I said, maybe we gotta stop the dev server and nuke everything. I don't know if that's gonna really help, but
maybe if this Explorer. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to add something to DevTools. Okay. Reuse. Loving everything about that. I saw it. Yeah, everything's gone. Application clear. Right. Yeah, you've got a clean slate now. Oh, we're not search that. Yep.
Okay.
Great. We're back. That was weird.
We're back. Is it saving our state for the date and the?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So we just had to nuke our entire database. That was the problem.
So it's supposed to be storing it like that. Schema.
Doesn't the thing store it as a string?
It does. I think it just does a truncate. What does it do? It just removes the time. Right. Okay. So we've got working melt state. We're going to need a button to go to the current week at some point. It's not selecting today. Is that right? Is it the 4th of December today? Yeah.
It is the 3rd for me. It's probably the 4th for you.
Yeah, it's the 4th for me.
Since you live in the future and everything.
It is today. So I'm guessing what's happening is... Yeah, I need to go date time, but I'm bringing it time. Yeah.
There's no datetime dot today. I guess not. That wouldn't make any sense. Never mind.
I think it's okay. 3rd of December. It's doing UTC. Okay. How can I make it use the local?
Is there an unsafe now if the time zone? Unsafe make zoned. Unsafe now, unsafe make zoned. The input is treated as UTC and then
Again. Cool. I think I will use the local time zone.
Is Sebastian the one who wrote this module as well?
No, I did date time.
I was about to say that, everybody says Cron was his finest work, but I'm not sure. Date time is pretty cool.
Yeah. In my previous job, I did like a bunch of like event stuff. And time zones killed me continuously.
As they do in general.
So I wanted to have a good date time module in the All right, so I think we're good now.
Did we make the initial load select the current week? Like,
Yeah.
even if you select to a different week, should we reset it to the current week when you reload the page, or should we always like respect what the user clicked to? Or does it reset when you reload the page anyways? I don't think it does. It's because it's
It's
in the
persistent right now.
yeah.
Yeah, we could potentially just make that in memory. So if we go to queries, this would just become add-on.no time dot unsettle dot power date time dot start off with. And then we don't need it in LiveStore anymore. Queries. And then in here, we don't need suspense anymore. We can just go use add-on. All right.
Yeah, I think that's kind of nice.
Yeah, fix it. So I got the selector working. Now we need to query the table. And I guess we also need like a modal for selecting what to add. But maybe for now we'll just do the query. I think the reason I had it in LiveStore was so I could use it for the query.
Does it have to be in Does it have to be in LiveStore to use it for the query?
I don't know. Can you add parametric queries? Surely.
Surely you can have parametric queries.
Don't. Queries.
I feel like I did this somewhere. Where did I do this?
It's when I query, they can take parameters. Still querying data. I mean, we could dynamically create the query, but I'm not sure that's anti-pattern.
I have to look back in my conversation history with Johannes, but I'm fairly certain I've done this before.
Yeah.
Hang on one sec. Let me look back.
I know you can, if you like, get. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, you can get other queries inside of queries. LiveStore has their own added terminology. That's what confusing.
Oh, they do?
Add-on result.
I'm scrolling back through.
Rare. Make query user store dot. Oh, I got find values here. Those are two SQL queries that don't need to be reactive. We do want it to be reactive. I guess if we put the state back in LiveStore.
I swear I asked this question to him before. I just can't find it in our history.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I guess if we commit the state before we make the query, it could.
Oh, wait, I think I found it. Is it possible? So he said, I asked him at one point in our history, is it possible to have a live query that depends on a parameter? For example, if I wanted to have a node that was a live query that depended on some ID prop. He said, yes, that's what the deps argument is for. I don't know what, I never figured out what that meant because I moved on to a different thing, but the deps argument we can pass into the LiveStore query.
This one here. Tips.
Does it say something about using contextual data? Yeah. When using contextual data when constructing the query, please consider include the depths option. Well, no. Yeah, there we go.
Filter.
Okay. We're cooking with gasoline now, Tim.
Okay. So new vein intrudes. And the dependency here is the start date, I guess. And then we need to calculate all the days to query. Week days. And so now we'll have all our days. Maybe we want them as strings. How are we storing them again?
Oh, time to delete the database again, Tim. Just
Surely not.
Surely not.
Continue.
But actually,
Do we have milk and stuff like that? No.
is it still in the database? Like in the dev tools?
Oh,
The dev tools aren't even loading. Yeah, I think we did actually have to use the database. Yes.
Here you go. Okay, so over again. So if we so we just need to query for whatever this format says. Format ISO date. Where is date time, like format isolate dates. Okay. So now we got array of strings, and now we need to query. Maybe I could just use the tables and build them. Well, I kind of want to make it conform to our schema somehow.
Can you use the schema argument to query DB, like with a raw SQL query? Or will that not work? That's what you're thinking.
Well, I think we need to join, don't we?
I guess.
Live
we do.
store. Join. Mhm. Okay, so does SQLite support JSON aggregation? We want SQLite JSON equivalent. Mm.
Trying to aggregate the full row as just a JSON object.
Yeah, so you can do it in Postgres. Pretty phrase close.
We'd have to group by something. It's an aggregator.
SQLite prior to JSON object. Okay. This might do. Select. So if we quickly create the table, create table users ID. Maybe we just
Let's just try it.
So the query would be select everything from new dips. So we put dips as an alt one. We're in let's pass an array in here. Or do I have to do the concatenation myself?
Isn't there a SQL? Is there a join method on the SQL helper? Is there a SQL helper?
Yeah, is it here?
Doesn't do anything at runtime. Got it.
Okay. So I need to do it manually. Read case, I'll join. So yeah, I don't want to select everything. I want to. I need to do my join. Join. Recipes. Yep. Right, what do I myself? Schema. And now let's just one more typo. Store.query. And then one.
Would this have to be a family? Or an Adam.fm?
Adam.mag. And yeah, we need to do the query. So we need to use store dot content. Because we need access to the store to do this. Store equals store.query. Coming in here, recipes, use Adam, Spence, meal, and entries Adam. Well, we should get it in here, right? Yeah. Ooh. So our query is bold.
Oh, there's a comma that you don't need after recipe.
That's so that's what we expected. We need to get some data in there somehow. But I'm not sure if we expected it to break. Oh yeah, let's see. Okay, what's the easiest way to, I guess if we just do a commit somewhere. Use Effect.
My God, Tim, what is this use effect thing you're doing? What is this filthy thing that you're doing?
Filthy. Yeah, we need to get a recipe quickly.
Oh, I know a good one.
I think
I swear, GPT's seen this recipe 1,000 times by now.
extracting. And then we need to go commit events of Milton Edge. We need an ID, the day, ID can just be red, and the recipe ID needs to be something from here. How do I copy?
Great question. I told Johannes that I wanted this to be selectable.
Well, she did not listen to you.
What if you just control C it? Does that work?
Ah, it's a canvas. Come on, C. Okay, great. We should have 2 recipes here. Nope. Open day. Queries. I'm not seeing any queries here.
Does suspending cause a problem? Maybe?
I don't think so. Do we get any queries here? No. Okay. Open.
Oh.
So we've got a schema issue now. So we need to use JFont from string. So here we can go It's getting the class JSON. There
Yay.
we go.
Fried chicken. Classic.
Chicken. Okay. Maybe we stop there.
Yeah, we really started cooking with gas at the end there.
Down model. So use the name models. View all. So
Good
we
start,
need
though.
to use our recipe schema here and add more fields to this JSON object. I have a feeling we might run into some issues where the JSON object isn't the same as a direct query, but we'll find out.
Guess we'll find out. Yep. All right. Well, I hope that everybody enjoyed this episode of ChEffect. We're committed to making this the best meal plan app that you've ever used in your entire life. So we're just going to keep going.
Keep going.
All right, everybody. Well, cheers and thank you for joining.
See you guys.